Alright, welcome to the first ever Blacklight Cinema Reviews. My name is Victor, and my compatriot here is named
Emilio.
And we're here to review the movie that should be on all our minds right now this weekend is Man of Steel.
Blockbuster.
Blockbuster. Now, Man of Steel follows Kal-El, who eventually lands on Earth from the planet Krypton, and grows up to be Clark Kent, who then turns into Superman, the hero we know and love. First thing we want to talk about is the story. What did you appreciate about the story?
The story, I think, Zack Snyder's vision of Superman was a great one. He wanted to make Superman a relatable character, a superhero that can be hard to relate to. You got characters like Batman there that are easy to relate to, and I think Zack Snyder did that well. Portraying Clark Kent, the human. He got rid of that super, he got the human part of that.
Yeah, I would say that if you're going to go into this movie with this idea that this is a fleshed out and really the embodiment of the Superman you've grown up with, then you're going to be left wanting. But at the same time, just understand that, in the way I look at it, it's a Superman in process. Yes, he's Superman, but he's also a Superman who's stepping out for the first time. So he's obviously going to be learning new things, not only about the world, but about himself. And also the fact that he's going to make mistakes. There are going to be some things that might turn off certain fans of this film, but if you go in there with this preconceived idea that this is a perfected Superman, then again you're going to be left wanting.
Character development. How do you like I love the portrayal of Superman by Henry Cavill.
I would say Henry is my Superman. He's the Superman of this generation, and I cannot wait till he returns on the big screen.
Lois Lane?
Lois Lane was great. I do feel like some of the scenes she has with Clark were a bit dull in that there was no witty banter of not just jokes, but just have something between them that it didn't seem so like they were just staring at each other's eyes all day.
Michael Shannon Zod?
Michael Shannon Zod was incredible. He has some great scenes in that he says lines in an almost perfected way. He's kind of an ambassador, but at the same time you always know that his motivations are to his people, and as a general, that he can be cold and ruthless, but he also has this charisma about him that allows you to kind of not trust him, but you kind of understand. You have this empathy for what he's going through and what's happening to him.
Definitely. Kevin Costner's Jonathan Kent.
Jonathan Kent, for me, stole all of the scenes. I felt like he gave one of the best portrayals in this film, and I really understand that even though there are some things about him that may have seemed cold, and he kind of seems like he's trying to hide his son from the world. But I really think what Zack Snyder was able to do with this character is really allow him to kind of give Clark some insight and some guidance in the choices he's going to have to make it as an adult, and not try to force any of his own ideas on him. In fact, just to give him a realistic view of what the world would be like if he chooses to leave a seemingly normal life, or if he chooses to expose himself to the world and what consequences lie before him. So I kind of think that Kevin Costner really just did a fantastic job in that department.
Diane Lane's Martha Kent.
Diane, I can't say enough about Diane Lane in that particular role, because of the fact that not only one is she a great actress in almost all of her pictures, but just she gave a invested performance. In this movie, she has some Spitfire to her almost. That there's some depth there. There's a great scene where General Zod walks into the farm and he's asking her and he's interrogating her some questions, and all she can muster out of herself is "go to hell." And I just thought that was great, because it kind of like shows that Clark is almost kind of drawn to these women who have this like inner fire in them, and I think that Diane Lane just really captured not only that portion of her character, but also the loving part of her character, because the scenes with her and Clark are really emotionally weighed down with great heartfeltness, and I really like that.
Lawrence Fishburne's Perry White.
Lawrence Fishburne's character, Perry White, it was that guidance for Lois. He was. You could always tell that he was reining her in from her like uncontrollable desire to be in the trenches, but at the same time, his moral code kind of led him to guide her in the right directions, and I kind of think that really came across well, because he wasn't just about the money or the paper. He really did have an inner moral code that he wanted to impart to those who worked for him.
And kind of the final character we want to touch on would be, of course, Russell Crowe's Jor-El.
Jor-El was fantastic. I think the fact that they fleshed out his character really early in the film kind of gave his character an interesting spin, and not just just the father that sent off his child to another planet, but also this father that tried to make an effort to do the best to save his planet. There's some scenes where he has to face the council and Zod, and in the meantime he's in the process of trying to save his son, but he imparts Clark with this codex, this DNA that contains the Kryptonians' genetics, and you can tell that his desire to do good and to have hope really is what's going to affect Clark as he grows up. Because when he does discover the ship that is from his planet, and his father's artificial intelligence shows up, he really has the same consciousness, and it really has a profound effect on Clark.
And now we want to kind of give you a quick run through of the movie. Again, you have the whole spiel on Krypton, which takes about 20 minutes of the film, which hasn't been done before. Really hasn't been elaborated in other Superman films, I would say. And after that, you have Clark. He gets shot off by his parents, and Krypton explodes, and the survivors would happen to be Zod and his crew. And as soon as the spaceship lands on Earth, the film flash forwards to Clark as an adult already, and he's just trying to find his way in the world and who he is really. And the story is basically told through flashbacks that he has, in a couple times, and those are like the beats of his origin and whatnot. And again, that's a good way to tell the story on Zack Snyder's part. It's been done in Christopher Nolan's Batman Begins. Is a very good way to tell the story, and to speed the process up and kind of pack all this information and his background into a film. And after that, the ball starts rolling. There's a bunch of action sequences that you love, leave you satisfied. Critics have been saying that the action sequences in here are a bit repetitive, and I would say I don't think that's the case. You'll get your action if you're a Superman fan. You won't get that wimpy Superman. He's all...
No, he definitely does go out of his way to break things, I would say. And all in the name of protecting humanity. But there are some great... this definitely is a visual film, and you really do need to see it on the big screen. A lot of great fights. Some people are going to complain that there's too much action, but in all honesty, there wasn't enough for me. I mean, I really just enjoyed all of it. And it wasn't repetitive in the least, because, they did have different locations, and they were doing and trying different things, as far as, they just weren't rehashing some of the same moves over and over and over again, so that was really great. As far as pacing goes, to kind of commend you as well for bringing out the fact that they used the kind of Batman Begins model of having the present, but also going to the flashbacks. Those are really great. They weren't as seamless, and they didn't flow as well as Batman Begins ones, but they didn't drag on either, and that was good. I really felt like the flashbacks really had these really emotional depth moments in Clark's childhood. When he's discovering and learning about his powers and how his parents react and how loving they are, and it really just shows Clark's character and what he's going to be given as he grows up to be an adult, and he really does have those qualities that his parents kind of had given him, that love that they had given him, and so that was really great. But overall, I really enjoyed the film. I'd say that if I had to rate it, I'd give it 4.5 Blacklights.
I would have to say about 4 Blacklights, but it's a very great movie.
It definitely is a must-see in the theaters. If you're going to see it, you probably want to see it twice, just so you can you can get everything and kind of just absorb everything. It really is worth it. But on that note, we're going to ask you to leave a comment if you have any suggestions. Also, what did you enjoy about Man of Steel? What were some of your favorite parts? Maybe what are some of your complaints regarding what you may have wished to see or what you didn't get to see, as far as what you thought was going to happen, what did happen. But we thank you for watching, and we hope that our next review comes soon. In the meantime, take care, guys, and feel free to stop by the movies.